everybody, it's me, GhostCritic, and I thought I'd make a video, and it's a comic book... something's wrong here. Oh, you're over there. Yes, here I am, it's me, GhostCritic, and it's been a long time since I've done one of these, but I'm getting back into the swing of it, and it is going to be a kind of back to basics, in your faces, comic book review video. Yes, not done one of those in ages. And it was probably a good week to start it off because we got rid of the whole Villains Month 3D debacle, and I had quite a nice stack of comics to read over the last week. So, without further ado, let's kick off. So we start with Batman Detective Comics, issue 24. Oh dear. Right. I didn't read Trinity War, and I haven't bothered with Forever Evil either. So I can only pick up bits of what's been going on, but apparently the Justice League are dead, and I expected... oh, I don't know what I expected, but this issue 24 seems to continue off where it left 2 months ago, and there seems to be no connection to these events that are going on. So I'm a little confused, but hey ho, we have the kind of conclusion to this Caldwell storyline, this Roth, and it's been so long I'd forgotten about this character. He seems to be a huge threat, but I'm not invested in him at all as a villain. In this issue, the storyline, his backup, why he's doing what he's doing, comes to light, and in essence he blames the whole GCPD for what happened to his father, and that is really his end game, is to destroy the whole GCPD. The start of this comic, cover, very misleading. This looked like it's out of kind of Battlefield Earth or whatever that awful John Travolta film was called. There aren't like fleets of spaceships flying around the sky with these two fighting around, but there is this kind of aerial dogfight between Roth and Batman, and it does feel very awkward. It doesn't sit well for this to be happening in Gotham. It could well be placed in the middle of space and it would fit so much better. So it's a bit over the top and ridiculous and huge explosions, but it gets better towards the end. Roth's plot is foiled by Batman, kind of the GCPD kind of exonerate Batman for his vigilante status. They've all been against him, or at least some of them have for a while, but now he's done this great deed in saving the whole police force. They kind of go, well, it's probably a good idea to have all these bats around Gotham. Cue cliffhanger, cue little twist. A kind of colony of real bats are flying through Gotham, and they don't seem to be particularly nice. Is this a clue to our next villain? Is it going to be Man-Bat? Who's to know, unless you've read the solicits already, which I don't. So we go on to Mind the Gap, issue 15. And I've been on the fence with this title for a number of issues. But there is something about McCann's writing that, just as I'm about to give up on it, and this was the issue I would have given up on because it's having a little bit of a hiatus, it's not coming back till December now, and I thought this is going to be its make or break issue. And it's not so much that it's a bad comic book, it's not a bad title at all. I think it's it's better placed as a TV series. I would watch this as a TV series. It has all the elements of a kind of like sci-fi conspiracy thriller type of series that a lot of the TV channels are churning out at the moment. But here is where my problem lies with a lot of, especially to be honest, image titles at the moment. They read like a TV kind of plot, and I do think a lot of them are looking for the new Walking Dead TV series. They want to be that next big transition from comic book to TV. And while that's a good thing, if we can get some of these comics into TV, that's a great thing. But let them be comic books first. Don't be writing a TV script as a comic book. It just doesn't fit right. But anyway, on to Mind the Gap, the actual issue that I read. I've been loving the last few issues because they've been kind of showing the history, the kind of backstory going way, way back to like before the First World War, and the experiments that these scientists are doing. And it's in this issue that we follow kind of Ellie's growing up process, and we find that she has this condition, or you know, it's been forced upon her, we don't quite know, that she dies for X amount of seconds, and it can happen at any time in her life, and it does. We see her grow as a young child and then into a teenager, and her kind of being used as an experiment, really, as a guinea pig, in the guise of trying to help her cure her of this disease. It's a great backstory insert that kind of fleshes the whole history of this title out, and it was here that I was like, I've got to stay with it, really. This is too interesting to give up right now. So while we have our little 2-month hiatus, the title will be missed. So, Green Lantern, issue 24, and the first part of our Lights Out storyline. And I was really excited for this. It's an interesting premise. It was set up in the last month, really, in the Relic Villains Month issue of Green Lantern. That apparently now there is this kind of reservoir of finite power that the rings are drawing off. And obviously every time they use their ring, this pool diminishes. And Relic, while he is villainous, he kind of thinks he's doing it for the right reasons. He doesn't want the powers of, you know, the rainbow Technicolor lanterns to disappear. So he thinks if he takes it all off them and, I don't know, stores it somewhere, then he'll be doing the universe a good thing. But, as always, the villain doesn't actually go about it the right way, you know, and this is what leads to the drama and what you have to have within the comic book, because surely it'd have been so much easier for, you know, Relic to go, look guys, this is what you're doing, do you not think you should stop? No, he goes in, gung-ho, huge spaceship, let's destroy a planet. And this could well be the end of OA, the planet. There is loads and loads of huge action scenes in here. We see Hal growing into his role as leader of kind of like the Green Lantern Corps. And it's a fun book. Unfortunately, this story is told over 2 other titles, or 3, New Guardians, the Green Lantern Corps, and it's probably in the Red Lanterns if that's still going, I don't know. So I'm going to kind of get the top end and the tail end, because I believe the finale is in Green Lantern Annual 2. Shame, but I just don't have the finances to pick up 2 titles that I'm not already collecting. But, great premise. And another character of the Green Persuasion. It's Green Hornet from Dynamite. It's issue number 6. And Wade's take on this character is, on one side, it's a real joy to read, and on the other side, it's like, is he taking this too far? We have Green Hornet kind of working both sides of the fence. He's acting kind of like this mob boss, instilling fear into like the lower level criminals, but at the same time he's getting information. He's setting up all his informants for his kind of good guy persona, but his fellow partner in crime, Kato, is a bit worried that he is taking his mob boss role a little bit too far. If you're not already reading this, it's probably, if you like the kind of crime noir pulp stuff that is basically Dynamite's bread and butter at the moment, you'll really enjoy this. This is my first kind of foray into the Green Hornet universe, but I'm really enjoying it. And the green keeps coming at ya. Yes, it's issue 24 of our green avatar. It's Swamp Thing, and finally our kind of mysterious Cedar's identity is revealed. And it was just before it was revealed that I worked out finally who this was going to be. Someone who has connections to the green, who has a certain power that's similar to the green. Who else could it be? It was, of course, spoilers, Jason Woodrue. And Jason Woodrue is certainly a different character in our new 52, and he is a lot more human looking than he has been seen in the past, though he does still have kind of like fungi and green and bark covering some of his body. But yes, he's been the one that has been basically putting green where it shouldn't be. And it's here that kind of Woodrue isn't so much, again, a villain, in that he's more naive. And it's for Swamp Thing to kind of show him the error of his ways. And the implications that, yes, if you put a kind of forest in the middle of the Sahara Desert, there's a certain balance that has to be addressed, and that means taking it away from somewhere else where the implications for them could be even worse. And there does seem to be some sort of repentance from Woodrue, but of course, in good old comic book fashion, they have to have a fight. It transpires here in this issue that Woodrue has been given powers to rival Swamp Thing from the Parliament of Trees. And there was a point in this history of our new DC 52 that Woodrue may or could have been the avatar of the Green. So yes, they have a huge fight where the Parliament of Trees suddenly decide, this isn't what we expected, and they kind of take away Woodrue's power. Just in the nick of time, fortunately, for Swamp Thing. But then the kick in the teeth for Swamp Thing is now that he has to fight for his title of Avatar of the Green. Yes, they give him back his powers, but now they must, challenge each other for the right to be kind of like the big green one. Charles Soule is doing a real great job on this, taking over from Scott Snyder from his kind of 12-issue run that kind of brought Swamp Thing back to the popular heights that he is again now. The artwork is serviceable. It's nothing incredibly special. There hasn't been that kind of horrific horror kind of style to it, but it has got that kind of Vertigo feel still. A great title that I'm still enjoying, and go pick it up. Okay, we have a new #1 from Vertigo, and we're still kind of in the green here. We are in a post-apocalyptic future world here, where there has been some huge catastrophe which has left nature to overtake the planet. We have ourselves a kind of band of survivors living in a kind of commune on in Manhattan, and when I first saw this being advertised, I thought this is going to be another Fables, because we have trolls, we have giant orcs with lots of arms, we have women with bat wings, we have boys with tails, and there just seemed to be this kind of almost mythological fairy tale element to it. But it is something decidedly different. If I had to compare it to, it would be kind of a mishmash of, it's almost Fables meets The Walking Dead, almost, and that's just from this extra length first issue. I am really enjoying it. For a first issue, it's set up the premise, it's given us a few characters, it's got us a villain already, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where Edgington can take this title. Give it a try. It's $2.99. It's an extra long issue, so you get a few more pages for your buck. Give it a try. And it's Morning Glories, our penultimate issue for this review show, and it's issue 32. And this story continues to be more and more convoluted. Could this title be any more Lost-like? We are focusing on the character Vanessa here, both past, present, and apparently future versions of the character. We have more from Hodge. Is she friend? Is she foe? It's so confusing, but I'm so hooked on it. If you've not read Morning Glories, you haven't got a hope in hell's chance of understanding what's going on. You will have to go right back to the start. The trades are dirt cheap from Image at the moment for these, $9.99. I think that's the highest I've seen. I'm sure you could find some even cheaper somewhere like Amazon or even eBay. I just can't begin to try and explain the story to you. I'm confused. By the end of this all, I still will be confused. Even the notes that they have on the back still leave me confused, but it's such fun. The artwork is just perfect by, who was it again? It's Seema. He just does a bang-up job with every issue. It's Morning Glories. Just buy it. And finally, yes, it's Vertigo's titling on its issue number 3. It's Trillium of our 8-issue series from Jeff Lemire, both written and drawn, and it's glorious. I haven't obviously spoken about this title yet. The first issue was amazing. The idea where the two characters had two separate stories. You had to read the front part to get the girl's part and the back part to read the bloke's part, or the other way around, however you read it. And they kind of met in the middle, and it was a beautiful idea. Issue 2 kind of stayed in the normal way of reading a comic book. Issue 3 kind of played it up and down, up and down. You were constantly turning the book up and down. And I was getting a little frustrated with it until you hit that middle double page spread. And I just thought, okay, I'm fine with this. That was just a fantastic way to reintroduce the characters that had met in the previous issue, in the previous first issue. It's got all the stuff I love. It's kind of science fiction-y. It's like you're on a big acid trip. It looks, it feels, and it reads completely like a Vertigo title, and so it should. Jeff Lemire has just done such a great job with this title, and it's a shame it's only a mini-series of 8 issues, but go find those first 2 issues, or if you have the patience, wait for it all to be collected in a trade. And I guess that's me done for the week. A little bit rusty, but I'm getting back in the swing. Expect more videos from me soon. Just a quick thank you to all the new people that have been subscribing to me of late. So appreciated, given that I haven't really been putting out many videos of late. I see that everyone and anyone seems to be doing a kind of video a day, and I feel very ashamed of myself that I'm hardly putting out anything. So I am seriously going to have to think about rectifying that, and maybe soon you will get my version of a video a day. With that, I'll say goodbye. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.